Have you been letting disappointment and pain from your past hold you back from taking action, especially in your business? Well, stay tuned because I am going to share exactly what you can do to clear up this pattern using the perfect mix of woo-woo and realness. Let's go. Creative entrepreneurs, if you are looking to align your mental and emotional energy and manifest the business you want without doing the most, hit that subscribe button and like this video to let the algorithm know that it's worth recommending to other people just like you. Hello, beautiful soul. My name is TEONNA, creator of Bliss Advantage, the program that helps creative entrepreneurs embrace their own special brand of divine weirdness by healing their subconscious and emotional energies. Here on YouTube, I like to share my unique process that helped me heal my mental and emotional energies so I could finally start attracting the things that I wanted, including the business of my dreams. I had spent nearly 10 years as a struggling side hustler. I was working a full-time job, spending 3 hours a day on a commute, and longing for the day that I could quit my full-time job. 7 years ago, I did that and I never looked back. I was finally able to do it, but it took a long journey that included lots of self-doubt, lots of overwhelm, lots of ego-driven competition, and ultimately energetic burnout. But it does not have to be that way. That's why I'm going to share my process with you. Let me explain how it works. See, in astrology, the moon governs the subconscious. It's also known as our inner self, our inner world. Now, this is where your desires, your habits, and the stories that you've created live. And they all ultimately impact your emotional and mental states. Now, since the emotional and mental energies are the biggest contributors to your energy field, that being the head and the heart, these two components govern what you attract per the law of attraction. Now, I've found that using the moon as a guide can help you get clarity around what's coming up for you mentally and emotionally at any given moment so that you can clear it up and in turn keep your aura nice and healthy, because when you have a nice and healthy aura, you're able to attract the things that you want. What I first like to do is review the overall energy of the moon. So I do this by using Human Design. Each month, the moon travels around the Human Design mandala, activating gates on the body graph. So we will look at the theme for this month's new moon, and then we'll also look at what it means given that it is a new moon that is transiting this specific gate. Then I'm going to share the high and low expressions of this energy. And lastly, I'm going to provide you with some journal prompts and contemplations so you can begin to transmute any of the low expressions of this energy that are coming up for you so that you can embrace the highest expression of who you were designed to be without all the conditioning. That's a big part of your life purpose, right? Is expressing your unique identity in a way that really delights your soul. And I'm pretty sure that that's probably why you also became an entrepreneur. You felt called to do it. You felt this passion, this fire, and you know that you have a purpose, but sometimes you get a little overwhelmed and you get caught up in these self-defeating cycles that leave you second guessing if this entrepreneurial path is even right for you. Entrepreneurship is a spiritual journey. I say it all of the time. And yes, you are in the right place. And yes, you have been called to do this, but you just need to heal up a few things that may be blocking your creative energy from flowing in the right direction. Don't forget to download the workbook below for this video. The journal prompts are in there for you to get started with healing your subconscious and emotional energy today. But let's get started first with looking at this month's new moon energy. So we have the new moon transiting gate 44 on November 4th. Now, gate 44 is the gate of alertness, and it's an interesting gate. First and foremost, it lives on the spleen. The spleen is the energy center for intuition, instinct, and sensing. It's the center that gathers information in our environment through our senses to gauge whether or not we are safe, right? It's that primal sensing energy. Now, through the sensing, you begin to pick up on patterns and you store those patterns for future use. These are what we call stories. For example, if you are driving your car in the rain, terrible downpour, and your car begins to hydroplane, your spleen center is going to send you a pulse that says, uh-oh, we're not safe. You're going to end up taking action to pull yourself back into control of your car, and then you will feel safe again. But what's going to happen? You're going to write this story of, hey, when it rains like that, I probably shouldn't drive like this. These stories are designed to keep us safe. That's how it's supposed to work. Now, there are several gates on the spleen center. Most of them do end up manifesting as fears in our physical experience. Now, the gate 44, the gate of alertness, this fear is really a fear of the past unfolding again, right? So it is the gate that says, let's look at how this all happened before and decide how we're going to move forward in this moment. Now, at the core, this is to keep you safe. And this is a great energy for physical danger, like a tiger about to attack you if you're hiking on a mountain somewhere, or a bear running at you, right? These splenic pulses are designed to keep you safe. But what usually ends up happening is that we use these impulses to create stories to protect us from feelings that make us feel unsafe. Feelings like disappointment or shame or embarrassment, things that aren't actually a threat to your physical body, but more so things that are a threat to your mental and emotional bodies, right? Those are things like shame, embarrassment, and disappointment, etc. Whenever you feel yourself recalling stories from the past as a means to try to assess what may happen in the future, I'd like to invite you to pay attention to the feeling. This is not the same as emotion, right? When I'm talking about a feeling, I'm talking about bodily sensations, sensing, right? What's happening in your body when you recall this story? Do you feel tightening in your chest? Do you feel butterflies in your tummy? These feelings that you experience are your body's way of telling you that there is energy that's surrounding this thought or this experience that you're reliving as a story, and it's blocking your creative flow. Now, in a healthy, balanced expression of the gate 44, you're going to learn from your experiences and you're going to learn to embrace them, and you make a note of what needs to be learned and what needs to be released as a result of this experience. That's when you know you're embracing the highest expression of the gate 44. In an unhealthy, unbalanced expression of the gate 44, you'd allow yourself to be defined by experiences of the past. Instead of observing them and pulling wisdom from them, you'd feel fear around these painful experiences, and you'd probably try to avoid repeating them, right? Okay, I'm never going to do that again. I'd like to invite you to contemplate, when those thoughts come up, is this true or is this just a story I tell myself? When I first got into business, I made so many mistakes. And I remember the first business I started, I opened a store in the mall, 22 years old, okay? And it was closed in 3 months. And I remember saying, entrepreneurship isn't for me. I'm never doing this again. This is so embarrassing. And I wrote that story that entrepreneurship is not for me because this failed as a reason to never do it again. That story was not helpful, and it actually prolonged my healing from that experience and blocked my lessons and learning and wisdom that was really supposed to come from being in that experience, right? Now I can look back at that experience and I know exactly what it is I needed to learn because I know exactly why that business only lasted 3 months, right? So when you begin to look at the past in that way, you can pull the wisdom out of it and not feel like a victim of the past, but instead feel like a victor who has come out of it with lessons. Another example of an unbalanced expression of this gate 44 is that you may actually continue to see the same themes play out over and over again until you start to embrace the learning or the teaching from them. These repetitive themes can show up in all areas of life: your business, your health, your relationships, whether it's familial, social, romantic, your business relationships. How about your relationship with money, with the energy of money? It is a relationship. I'm curious to know, comment down below if this resonates with you. If you've ever felt afraid to take action because you thought that your past might repeat itself, or if you've actually noticed that you have the same lessons coming up over and over again, and you can't really figure out what it is that you need to learn here. Now, given that this gate 44, is being transited by the new moon, this energy is inviting you to set new intentions around how you'd like to deal with and process your disappointments and those disempowering stories that you have from your past. Remember, the new moon phase is a time for new beginnings and new energy. So this is a time for you to decide how you'd like to move forward. So here are some journal prompts that I want you to contemplate and take note of. You can do that in the workbook that I provided down below or in your own journal, whatever works for you. The first one is, in what ways have I allowed my past to define me or hold me back from moving forward? Number 2, how can I reframe disappointing experiences of the past as empowering messages of learned lessons and liberation? Number 3, what may need to be healed or released so that I can continue to embody a balanced, healthy expression of alertness when I am acknowledging painful experiences from my past? Now, by contemplating in this way, you actually allow energy to begin to coalesce in a new way all around you. This is actually going to benefit you. True intentions are simple, powerful questions. Questions go out and answers come back to you through the flow of energy. Now, you're going to see these answers come up in your life experience. So pay attention to signs and synchronicities and sparks of inspiration that come forth, because when you start doing things in this way, when you actually focus on your mental and emotional energy body, using the moon as your guide, there is something alchemical and magical that happens. You stop trying to force and figure things out on your own, and you begin to allow divine intelligence to light the way on your healing journey. So you guys know I always like to end these videos with a quick card reading. This week I'm going to be pulling from the Essential Oil Oracle deck. So let's see what comes up. So this card popped out, ease. Let me see if you guys can see it. So here is what it says. The trigger statement for this week is, I have to make this work. The true statement is, I'm at ease with life. You need to ease your grip on life so that it can lead the way. There is an outcome brighter than you can imagine. That is a beautiful message, especially as we are looking at how to use our life experiences from the past as our divine knowledge, pulling the wisdom out, pulling the lesson out without allowing that past experience to define us. So I love where it says, you need to ease your grip on life so that it can lead the way. For some of you, this is all you needed to hear this week. Go ahead and drop your favorite emoji below to let me know you enjoyed this video. Let me know you made it to the end. Creative entrepreneurs, listen, the work that you are here to do is a light for others to follow. That's why it's so imperative that you keep your light turned on, turned bright. Your aura is that light. No more dimming it to fit in. No more silencing your voice. No more holding on to energy that makes you play it small so you can feel safe. When you do your inner work and you heal your aura, you can manifest the business of your dreams with ease. That's all for this week, you guys. I'll see you next time.